Well, hello there. What up, BHA fam? This is Layeththesmackdown, here to go over my Megacade review. In addition, I plan on kind of going through, the different parts of my machine, making sure to try to note for like anybody that's new, anything that may not be sort of a off the menu item, because there are certain things that for whatever reason the webpage is not quite up to date with all the options. So if I come across some or have some come across as I'm going through it, I'll try to mention for that too. I know the wait's pretty tough. I had a lot of people make, not for me personally or anything, but a lot of people made videos over the Megacade. I know it's one of the biggest things that helps that ridiculous wait that we have for the machine. Although I will say again, it's well worth it. Anyone considering it, I'm already team Megacade, I can tell you that much. For several reasons, we'll go through that as we get through here. You may notice that I've got a poster up here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. So yeah, it says say no to drugs and say yes to pizza. Clearly that's a model I've probably followed a little too closely, huh? I've got what they call a weight problem. It's not so much here or here, but right here. Fully aware, thank you, to the for sure comment that was coming on that. Well, I guess let's get started here. Okay, so pretty much why I would, where I think I can benefit you here in this video is not coming from some sort of expert stance. I'm not an expert in these things. I listen to a lot of experts on Wednesday nights and have gained a lot of knowledge through them. I've really found a passion in this as part of what's cool in this process. If you're, still waiting on the machine, I definitely recommend getting into these meetings, usually like 8 or so o'clock on Central Standard Time on Wednesdays. It's definitely helped out a ton. But my perspective is going to be someone that really didn't know much about this coming in. Like I kind of maybe wanted to get into computer gaming when I first started looking for stuff, or I always wanted to, try the fight stick for fighting games because I'm big into those, right? And I didn't quite know how to go about that or what I was going to do, and I came across, different things like emulation. Didn't know anything about emulation really. I'd seen, people can run old games, but didn't really know anything about it. And then learning, there's different arcade systems from there. And finding, a Scantron 5K video and a D. Thomas video, and it was pretty much on a path to being over from there. Because here's all these games that I can play. I get to do it on an actual panel. I even tried a Pandora's box before I did that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, for what it is, it was awesome. There was like 3,000 or so games on it. And the sticks felt a little cheap, but overall I enjoyed it. But the problem was, getting it positioned or having to move it around. And I didn't want that. I wanted a machine where I can get that nostalgia feel where I'm walking right up to it, and playing it like back in the day. Feeling like a little kid again. Because to me, that's really what's behind all this for me is the nostalgia and the fun factor behind it. So, just kind of like this channel, like that's all I want it to be, just fun. I don't plan on blowing up or getting really good at it. If I'm gonna do what I want to do, I'm gonna learn to edit it and get some of that stuff going. So I'm gonna apologize in advance for some of the crappy editing you're gonna see. I'll try to make light of it as I've kind of done so far. But yeah. And yeah, just to make one more point on that. So as far as where I think I'm going to benefit, like I'm someone who learned about this on the fly, and I want to help you have as much fun with your experience as well. So you can have the most knowledge and get exactly what you want out of this, because that's going to be the biggest thing. And I can tell you right now, from everybody we've seen come in, I've been, in the group through the forums, if you think that you're buying a plug and play machine that is going to just be able to play anything with no issues with the touch of a button like it's a console, that's not what you're getting. You're getting a machine where you're going to have to learn a few ins and outs of it. It's not too difficult, but it does take a little bit of patience. Again, being in those meetings every week was really awesome. I don't think that you necessarily have to do that, but boy, did I feel like I had an advantage coming into this machine. And I gotta say, for me, it's almost, with what I picked up, there's a lot that is plug and play for me that I don't hear from other people because they don't have that knowledge coming in. So again, highly recommend coming to those meetings. You don't have to, but that's also where you meet people, and I think that's another really huge benefit of EHA is the community. I've met so many cool people through this and been a part of a bunch of different streams and all this stuff, and you get to know other guys, and like really brings that camaraderie part into it. And I don't think you'll get that anywhere else. I'd never expected that to be a thing, but it definitely has been. Okay, so let's start off with the artwork here. If I can get this in focus. Again, apologize. Hopefully I can edit this somewhat. So this is the right side of my Megacade, and the kind of the theme behind it, because I have a different theme for each big part of it, is to be more of like a, just like powerful, like, because all the characters on it I consider to be extreme badasses, and I kind of wanted to capture some of my favorites. And then, so a lot of this is just images I found on the web that I really liked and thought went with it. This one I'm showing you right now is, and this is part of what you can do in working with Vlad, who's our graphics guy. I literally came up with this on the fly. So it's a picture of Thanos sitting inside of Galactus' skull, and you can see down at the bottom he's on a mound of skulls, and all the, well, some of the main Avengers anyway, some of their equipment you can see is busted and broken as if he's defeated everybody. So I thought that was pretty sweet. Okay, on to the left side. So this theme is going to be for the Baltimore Ravens, and it's my favorite players ever. So as you can see, it's definitely not my only Ravens item around here. But yes, this Marshall Uganda, one of the best O-linemen ever, Ray Lewis. Everyone knows him. Got a little lightning action in the background. Lamar Jackson, the best QB in the NFL. Don't at me. Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs with his nice little mask on there. Pretty awesome. I thought he did a great job with this. So here is my line. You can see mine. You didn't originally when I got it. I can tell you what's going on with that. So I got the three-piece. The three-piece is where you get 1, 2, control panel being 3. And I needed that because I got some extra large wheels, which I'll go over here in a second. But you can't see it now just because it's off a little bit. And that was done because we put this back on a rush, because it was pretty much just me and my wife. And I can't believe we were able to to get that up and on. But yeah, that's that side. Go Ravens. All right. Now we're to the kick plate. And this is definitely one of my favorite pieces. So this is pretty much a tribute to the Attitude Era. What some people consider the best times in wrestling back in the day. There's a little bit of MJF and a little bit of Chris Jericho through the years on here as well. And I mean, he's part of the Attitude Era as well as in it now. And it's pretty much just my favorites within that time frame. I've sort of made a short video on this already, but a lot of people have talked about in the past how the artwork will bubble up on them. I have not experienced that. It's as smooth as it can be all over. I'm really impressed with it. So pretty pumped to that. I got some holsters in here for the guns. I went ahead and went gun for IR, but I went with one of Ray's guns that he'll tell you would ruin a marriage price-wise. So I only have one of those, and we'll get into that here in a second. But it's definitely an awesome part of the machine. I don't know, for me, what is it, $50 to add this part? Have to do that. Okay, so this is my 5-inch caster wheel. I mentioned earlier in the video that I wanted that feeling of being a little kid walking up to my Megacade. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, this thing is huge. And it is really tall, and it probably would have been, you know, close to okay, but I didn't want to really have any lean forward. I didn't want, you know, my back to start to hurt. Remember that I'm old and fat and ruin the nostalgia. Okay, so from what I remember being told, the wheels, the original ones that come with it are like 1.5 inches. And so these are 5, obviously, so you're gaining 3.5 inches. And I find that to be perfect. I'm about 6'3". So super helpful for actually being able to stand up and play. As far as the amount of time I stand up and play, I'd say it's probably about 50-50 on that. Just depends kind of what I'm doing. If I'm doing more of like a controller game, I'm going to want to sit down for that because that's how those are. Anything arcade related, I'm trying to stay up if I can. So on the control panel here. So I went with what's called the Battleship. And I actually got the Battleship cut as well. So if you were to ask Dave to have the Battleship, make sure you let him know how you want it. If you say Battleship cut, it'll look like mine, and I'll show you kind of a further out view here in a second. Or you can go where it doesn't have this cut and it's more rounded, like you see, just with the Battleship buttons underneath it. Here's my artwork. Got a little Deadpool, Superman. I wanted to keep this black and white. Got a little Wolverine. That's Sabretooth hidden behind my little marker. I wanted to go black and white because I really wanted my RGB buttons to pop. Knew I had to go RGBs. And I feel like this will really help them do that. Stole that idea from Arcade Adam. I think his actually has a little black extra around here. I'd really want to mess with my art, and I figured this would be dark enough the way I did it to be able to do that. Got the Superman cape in hand. Little Kratos versus Thor, who's ready for Ragnarok. All I want to do is take Kratos and beat Thor's ass. Perfect. And of course, we got the name. Layeththesmackdown on the Megacade. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so why did I want to do RGB? Obviously, the pretty colors are nice, but I love like the patterns you can do. And there's some special features in MAME, if you get figured out in LED Blinky, that I think are really neat. And I'm going to try to show those off here in a second. By the way, guys, diet starts tomorrow. Jeez Louise, huffing and a puffing. Okay, let it get through that. Go into Arcade Classics.
Welcome to the Thunderdome Village.
Love that. We'll try to get to a game people are familiar with. Okay, so we got UMK3 here. And I don't know if we're going to get the right colors looking here, but you got your high punch, low punch. Blocks are both the middle. And then you have your high kick, low kick, and your run button. Courtesy of the Scantron layout. Another thing I highly recommend. That is if you're a fighting game guy or gal. Now, let's show you this cool little feature. Pause the game.
High punch. Block. High kick. Low kick. Run. Low punch.
See, LED Blinky will call that out on the games that it recognizes. When you go to the pause menu, you can set it up to do it at the beginning of the game. I like having a little more control than that and doing it when I want, but there's all sorts of things you can do. You can do animations coming in of games, out of games. Like you can make your own custom animations. It's pretty neat software. It definitely takes a little work. Not to mention, how sweet is it that you can just pause an arcade game? Go ahead and turn that down. And then, of course, if you've seen, I believe it's D. Thomas that shows this off. You also have a menu within MAME or Arcade Classic, same thing, where you can go to like cheat options, or you can adjust the dip switches of the game. You can adjust the screen if need be. There's all sorts of controls. You can really make it your own. Pretty sweet. Okay, so these speakers, I think they're cyber acoustic. I just saw a post about it, but they can bang. They're no joke. There's a subwoofer inside as well. About halfway. I don't know if that'll translate, but through the video, especially I have an iPhone I'm filming all this on, so, but don't worry about the sound. It'll definitely be more than loud enough, especially if you have a wife, I'm sure. This is my Wii bar. I went ahead and went with that option as well. Haven't got a chance to play the Wii games because, you know, I've only had this for a couple months, but yeah, I may never get to them. There's so many games on this, it's ridiculous. Okay, I kind of want to show you here. It's full auto. You know, just move my hand a little bit. Really gives you that kick and that feel, and I think it makes a hell of a difference when you're playing these games. And you might say, that's pretty annoying for, you know, late night. Don't know if I'd want that. Well, in that case, you just switch this over. Don't have to worry about it. And an advantage, this one over like the Time Crisis, it does have some other options. Like here's a button, and here's a button. Those come in useful. It also has a little hookup down here at the bottom for a pedal, for those of you who like Time Crisis. Probably everybody. Wii nunchucks / controllers. If you get the package, they both come with that. You also get like 2 wheels and 2 guns you can put the controllers into. Maybe something else I'm forgetting. This is not the normal steering wheel. I wanted something with force feedback, so when I start to get to the racing games, again, another thing, there's just so much stuff on here. And I keep playing some of my favorites over, and I don't know when I'm going to get to everything, but I have messed around with it a bit. The force feedback is pretty cool. For games that don't have it, this has got a nice feature too, where I can like stiffen it up in the middle so you don't have the play between the motors, which is a neat feature. And this is a Logitech, I can't remember which model it is, but it's basically like one of, if not the newest one, for the PlayStation side. I can't remember the exact number, so. Okay. Final thoughts on the couch with your boy Layeththesmackdown. So again, you know, starting at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that where I think I can benefit is someone that really doesn't know much about this stuff and wants to get into it, thinks that they can really enjoy it. I can just tell you, if you're like I was, and like just give you kind of into my decision, I don't think I finished on those thoughts. I basically was looking into it for like 6 months. I was convinced that this is way too expensive, and how can I spend this much on video games? And only to fall back into D. Thomas and Scantron videos and no, like, I gotta make this happen. And then the Biden bucks came in and the Trump bucks, and it seemed a little bit more possible. I mean, my machine ended up being like just a hair over 10 grand, which is a serious financial deal. I get that. There's definitely tools to help yourself get it if, you know, that's a problem for you, which I'd imagine for most people it is. And I know that there's a lot of videos out, like I'm a perfect example of like getting freaked out by the wrong information. So I just put my deposit down after 6 months of back and forth, and was really happy about it. Joined the Zoom call, my first one, you know, and tell people about it that I'm happy. I made a post and everything in our EHA group, which if you're looking into this, please join it. So much information in there, more detail than I have here. You can just search in the group for those or ask questions. Everybody's really nice. And right before I get into the meeting, I watch a video of someone, I think it's become pretty popular, straight bashes it. Like it's just this hunk of crap, and it doesn't work right. And I don't know anything about it, right? So who am I to believe? You know, one person's going to tell me their stuff works and one doesn't. But when I heard some guys, you know, talking about some of the issues that they were having with things. I think someone had an issue with shipping at the time, so there was some, you know, emotions. But basically what it boiled down to when I asked everybody, because I did ask the groups, like, wait, did I make a mistake on this? Like, is this going to be too much? Like, what am I getting into? And immediately everybody was like, no, once you learn this machine, like, you're going to love it. I mean, just multiple guys ready to say that, and, you know, offer their help and to be supportive, which is really cool to see. I mean, I didn't know these guys and they didn't know me. And I try to emulate the same thing. I want to be someone that can help you as well. So, and the reason I want to do that is because I know how cool this thing is and how much fun I'm having. You also, and I'll say this again, I'll say it a million times, you have to understand it's not going to be plug and play. You're going to have to learn some things about it. If you're willing to do that and you get yourself prepared, you will absolutely love it. If you don't, chances are, and you think that this is just a plug and play machine, you spent so much money, it should work automatically. To the extent I agree, and I believe you should know that it's not plug and play. I feel like that should be communicated a little better, but if you can still absolutely have a ball with it. Like I said, going through my review, there's so many things I'm not even getting the full potential of yet. Like, I have years to get in the future. I plan on, you know, once I have kids, I'm sure in this gaming age, like even girls are into it now, that I'll be able to play with the family. The wife we're working on, she did manage to beat me in Golden Tee, which is crazy. I probably shouldn't admit that, especially on camera. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. I'll try to get to it as quick as I can. Sorry about the editing quality and some of the camera angles. This is all new to me. You're talking to a dude that's a total introvert, and never thought I would do something like this. But it's just, like I said, it's something I'm excited and passionate about. Like, I think other people can get in and get this machine and do that as well. And I don't think I'm the only one. You can ask others in the group if you come in. It's borderline an obsession. You're never done building it. You're always wanting it to get better and to learn new things. And it's such a cool hobby getaway. Like, awesome. Like, I know I'll get to the point where, like, I probably don't even want to play it so much as I want to, like, figure out new things I can do to mod it and, like, and make it better. But as for now, I'm still loving all the games, and I think you will too. That's my long rant. Thank you so much for hanging around if you're still here. I know, like, it's probably not the best content. I try to be as goofy as we can and have fun. This is a lot more, you know, kind of a serious tone. So anytime you're offering up your opinion on a big decision like a Megacade, I think it should be. So I kind of kept the jokes down a little bit, but yeah, for the most part, we're pretty much done. One more really important thing. Got a word from our sponsor. Things have been going well on the channel, so we got one, so we'll cut to that real quick. Take it away, Will.
I'm Ricky Bobby. If you don't chew Big Red, then you.
Almost forgot. Got to thank you, EHA guys, man. The support for me starting a YouTube channel. It's been unreal. I really do appreciate it. I'll definitely try to put out some more content and really try to make sure I do a good job of trying to maybe inform the new guys / entertain those of us who are still hanging around and helping and enjoying our Megacades. So thanks again, guys. It means the world. Adios. Okay. Real quick, guys. A couple things I forgot. So apparently there's even an option for this outside trim to be chrome if you want that. These are some off the menu items I'm talking about. This right here, that keeps it up from the hull being shown, that you can get clear or see-through, I've heard as well. Was not aware of that. Had to get informed later on. That'd have been something I would have wanted as well to maybe save my boy Sabretooth's head over here. If I think of anything else, we'll make sure to bring it up. Thanks again. And of course, I guess I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention the fact that this machine has probably over 70,000 on it, and probably going to have more soon with the big update that's coming.